I figured that title got your attention, but before I get into why I think you should marry for money and what I really mean by that, I want to welcome you to my new YouTube channel and something I'm calling Quick Questions Susan. I am an Emmy Award winning consumer reporter, and now I am answering your real money and consumer questions right here 3 times a week. Drop your question in the comments, and you might see it in a future video. Now, on to why I think you should marry for money. Okay. I don't mean go find a sugar daddy or a sugar mama. What I mean is this. Before you walk down the aisle, you need to really understand how your partner handles money. Today's quick question, Susan, is from Nick in Arlington, Virginia. He says the following. If I love someone, but they have terrible money habits, does that mean we are doomed? All right, Nick, let's talk about it. Well, here's the truth. Love might bring you together, but money actually can tear you apart if you're not aligned. In fact, money disagreements are one of the biggest predictors of divorce. But the good news is, talking about it now can actually make your relationship stronger. Why money matters in marriage. Study after study shows money is one of the leading causes of divorce. In fact, arguments over money are a stronger predictor of divorce than arguments about kids, chores, even intimacy. Financial problems contribute to between 20% and 40% of all divorces. That's 2 to 4 marriages out of 10 ending primarily over money disagreements. Another survey found that money was the biggest source of conflict in 40% of long-term relationships. One source puts that toll even clearer. If couples argue about money once a week, they're 30% more likely to divorce. But it doesn't have to be that way. Think about this. Marriage is really about building a life together. And at the center of that life, whether it's buying a home, taking a trip, or just paying the electric bill, is money. If you're not on the same page, little cracks can turn into big fractures. The talk you've got to have. So what does this mean for you? Well, it means before you walk down that aisle, you've got to sit down and talk about money. And not just, do you have a lot of debt or what's your credit score? Those are important, but you've got to go deeper. Ask each other, how do you feel about money? Are you more of a saver or a spender? When you get stressed, do you spend to feel better or do you shut down and avoid looking at the bills? These aren't easy conversations. I get it. But if you truly love this person, you owe it to each other, to be honest, because financial habits don't magically disappear once you're married. In fact, they actually get louder and bigger. Now let's be real. What if you're the saver and your partner's the spender? Or what if they have debt they haven't really tackled? Do you just call it quits? Not necessarily, but you can't ignore it either. Here's how you bring it up without driving them away. Lead with love. Say, I want us to have the best future together, and money is part of that. Use we, not you. So like this, instead of you're always spending too much money, try how can we work on our budget together? Pick a neutral time, not after a fight, not when you're all stressed out. Pour some coffee, a glass of wine, go for a walk. Keep it calm. And remember, money habits are often rooted in childhood. Maybe your partner grew up with very little, so they spend when they finally can. Maybe they grew up never having to worry about money, so they don't think twice about it. Understanding the why behind the habit can actually help you move forward together. The best antidote to money fights, shared goals. So sit down and dream a little. Where do you want to be in 5 years? Do we want to buy a house, travel? Do we want to start a family? Then back into the money piece. What do we need to financially get there? Suddenly it's not about nagging and restricting. It's literally about building something amazing together. And that feels a lot more like love than arguing over credit card debt and credit card bills. So Nick, here's your call to action. Marry for money, not for the bank account, but for the alignment, the honesty, the teamwork, because love is wonderful, but love with a shared vision for your financial future, that's the kind of love that honestly lasts. Now, I want to hear from all of you. Have you had the money talk with your partner? How did that go? Drop your experience in the comments. Your story might actually help someone who's scared to start this conversation. And if you found this helpful, hit subscribe. I'm Susan, and this is Quick Questions Susan. I'm going to be here 3 times a week to give you the tools to build a smarter, safer financial life. And if you have a quick question, drop it for me in the comments. You might see it in a future video. See you next time.